What is up, Nintendo Land? Welcome to Nintendo Open Air Podcast. The Nintendo Switch is now online. Whether you're in for a 7-day free trial or you've thrown down those gold coins for a family subscription, we can now experience more games, more features, and more fun. Though we have to ask, is it really more? Tonight, we'll give you all of our thoughts from our first experience with Nintendo's new paid online service, as well as recapping the roller coaster of emotions we all experienced during last week's Direct. So click your pointers on play, re-download that Switch app in the background, and get ready for all the latest from Nintendo Land, now online. Alright, before we get to the online stuff tonight, I thought we should start where the news started. And that is with the Nintendo Direct from last week, of course. So I have to say, overall, I was happy with the Direct. I did not feel depressed after I watched it.
Yeah, good good headlines, not much substance. But we got a little bit more than two more JPEGs from Nintendo.
It's about the base level. It's about the base level of what I would expect a Direct to be. Like, you know what I mean? I'm about as excited about it as I think I should be for any given Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
And haven't been lately.
Yeah, I think that's what the stark contrast was, is that the past year, maybe not that much of Directs have been really disappointing, to say the least. Just nothing there.
And remember what happened to Nintendo's focus on coming out this year? Remember, like, what that was their thing last year. We're only going to talk about games that are coming out soon.
This was all about games coming out in 2009.
Yeah, now they're like, you'll get it eventually.
Yeah, here's your big Christmas teaser, all stuff coming out well after Christmas.
But it seems like they're starting to listen to the internet trolls. Like, I mean, we still could get Waluigi for Smash. It might happen. I think it will. I don't know if you guys saw that box art for the Super Smash Brothers edition of Switch, which got announced, which was a rumor, and is now no longer a rumor. But they've got Nintendo had released official box art, and on the side it's got a picture of every single character, including Isabelle. But then there's two blank spaces after her.
Was it two blank spaces after Isabelle, or was it two blank spaces? Okay.
Oh, maybe it was two blank spaces.
One of them being Isabelle.
Yeah, either way, we've got more characters coming, and they were smart enough to be like, let's cover up that
least
part
one
of the
more.
Box.
Yeah.
So I think Waluigi will probably get in there.
Yeah.
That's one thing you kind of mentioned was about rumors coming true, and that seems to be a theme lately. That any rumor we've heard, almost, I'd say 90% of them have turned out to be true.
Yeah, we never got that open world Star Fox, but we got Starlink.
And unfortunately, that Yoshi game did not turn out to be called Yoshi's Flippin' Island. Maybe that's still
coming. We knew that.
But
I really expected there to be Labo functionality with that. We still might get it.
I still kind of expect it.
But they might be on the fence right now of whether they want to never mention Labo again or keep trying to push it.
Exactly. I think you're right. I think that may be why Yoshi's Flippin' Island is pushed out a little further than we expected.
If Labo is still a thing when this releases, we might do something Labo.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think they might wait for Christmas, see how Labo does, and then that'll influence their decision one way or the other.
Yeah, I can't imagine. You know what's funny is this past weekend my daughter was like, she's an early riser and I am not, and she watches a lot of kids TV and I don't watch any TV. So I do catch when I'm with her some of these Nintendo commercials that I've never seen, and I was in the other room and I heard her go, "Oh, that's cool," and like I come running in and it's a commercial for the Labo vehicle kit.
Oh no.
And I was awesome. Like, wow. And then so I grabbed the Switch and show her that there's a trailer for the Labo vehicle kit, and she goes, "That's boring." And I'm like, "That's the same thing you were watching, idiot." But
that's marketing. That's commercials, man, for you.
But yeah. But I was like, hey, she saw a Labo commercial and thought it was cool.
I've
It was
started
probably
se-
much more exciting than the cardboard.
I've started seeing Nintendo ads for the Dragalia Lost mobile game popping up on Crunchyroll. So it they're getting out there, and they seem to know their audience. So
That's coming soon, isn't it?
it's the 26th or something like that
So
of this
yeah,
month.
not
Like,
too far.
Yeah, I don't think it's rocket science to figure out Crunchyroll and Nintendo have a big crossover.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
Right.
like one night, it's like I saw it like 3 times or something, and it's like, wow,
They're stalking you. They know.
they do know. Yeah, at
Let's
least it
not
isn't
mention
those.
streaming services that aren't on Switch.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that letdown in a little bit. All right, talking about the direct, we did find out 3DS is not dead. Apparently, not yet. It's still
Well, kind of.
it's kind of where you put ports now.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the Yokai Watch that they mentioned is that new? I assume none of us.
It's the new yokai for this year or whatever. They're doing like Pokemon stuff. Remember how they did that with what was it, like the bones and spirits or whatever last time?
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had
they're
like
doing
two
two
versions
games.
and now they got like dogs
Fleshy
and cats
souls
or
and bony
something. Yeah.
spirits, and
Yeah,
now
that's
it's
it.
cat team versus dog team.
Yeah.
And we,
You
They're
know,
just Splatfests now.
talking
Splatfest themes.
comparing that to Pokemon, it is kind of a note here. That's still on 3DS, and Pokemon is coming to Switch.
Yeah.
well, Pokemon's a flagship. I mean, what is it, Level 5 owns Yokai Watch? Is that who it is?
I think so.
So they're not as tight with Nintendo, so I wouldn't see them coming over as quickly.
I feel like those are an afterthought for the US. Like I know they're really big in
Yeah.
Japan, but I don't
Yeah,
think
I
I think they
agree.
just put them out here because they can. But I don't know. Just like when we saw the Animal Crossing mobile data from last year or last month or last week or
It
whatever.
was last week.
Last week when it was like 90% of their sales are in Japan and 10% are in the US. I think that's probably how Yokai works too.
I mean, it obviously makes enough money here that they keep putting them out here, but I don't think it's making it.
Yeah.
It's obviously not doing anything like Pokemon numbers, and I
If
don't
I
think
could
it
have
ever will.
fast forwarded the direct during its live stream, I would have.
Yeah.
When Yokai came on.
Well, Yokai, and then we had Luigi's Mansion. They confirmed there will be a 2-player, which
With
looks
green
okay.
Yoshi or green Luigi.
Yeah, just a green, gooey looking Luigi.
Which
I don't.
Nintendo has not, as of this recording, given an official name to.
That's right.
People have been trying to figure it out. Like, is it Luigi's Ghost?
Clone Luigi. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's odd.
Maybe they call him Gooigi.
I think
He's made of green goo.
they would have been. It would have made a smarter play to use. What is it? Is it? It's not called Poochie. What is the ghost dog called?
I don't know. Poochie is the Yoshi's one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't remember what he's called. Did he have a name?
Maybe I'm thinking of Poochie Yoshi, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Was there a ghost
No,
dog?
there is. I think there was. Maybe you're thinking Zero from Nightmare.
Yeah, that's what that's what his name is basically. Yeah, because it's the same thing.
But anyway, that would have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Spooky. They could have just used Waluigi.
They could have.
Waluigi's Mansion. If Luigi's Mansion had come out in the NES days, we would have gotten a Waluigi's Mansion.
Oh, that's
like
good
like
stuff.
Wario Land. It could still happen.
We're talking about Mario games here.
Should we mention the other one that got announced? Are you gonna save that?
I was going to do that one last.
All right.
Are you talking about? I think we're talking about the same thing.
On topic, yeah. We might be.
So anyway, the other 3DS games, we got another Mario and Luigi game coming, which I'm not sure if that's been announced before.
You know what? It's not. It's the one that they announced in January.
Okay.
Because remember, I remember bitching about it back then or whenever it was, January, March, and I'm like, why the hell are they announcing stuff now that doesn't come out for a year or whatever it was? But that one's, I think, January release.
Is the Bowser Jr.'s Journey. That was
Yeah.
the new part of it, right?
That was one that was coming already, though.
Oh, that was already coming.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I
So-
do remember hearing about that before. That one of the
Okay.
previous.
I couldn't tell myself. I don't pay attention to those games anyway, so I couldn't tell
Well-
if it was a new one or another one. But apparently, it was one that was previously released or previously announced, rather.
It was like it sounded familiar, but then I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But the other game that was announced, of course, was Kirby's Epic Yarn coming. So that's kind of exciting.
It was an extra epic yarn,
Extra Epic Yarn, yep.
which I'm okay with. Again, I'd rather have it on Switch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But as much as I shit on Kirby, that is the only Kirby game I have 100%ed and enjoyed. It's very easy, and that's what I like about it. Is even compared to Kirby games, which are historically very easy, this is real. Turn your brain off and just play through the game. Like it's there, you cannot die in it, and it is my favorite Kirby game.
3D
It's
will
a
be
lot of
nice
fun.
too. I mean,
2D only, I believe.
Yep.
I
are you
saw
serious?
Well,
I saw a little thing at the bottom that said 2D
If it's
only
if it's
during the
2D,
trailer.
if it's well, a lot of times they say that on the trailer. If the gameplay really is 2D only, period, I won't buy it.
the news stories,
But I will buy it if it's 3D. Sorry, Jace.
the news stories I've seen is that the game is 2D only, but it can only be played on a new 2DS or 3DS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pass.
I had
Total
heard
pass.
debate on that, and people said that it wasn't because they said the box art doesn't say only for.
Yeah,
everything
that's
I've
what I
seen, everything I've seen is new Nintendo 3DS only, but that's news reports.
Yeah.
But I watched it on my Switch after. I always watch it live, and then because I'm a loser, I rewatch it later. So I watched it on my Switch, and I was like, I don't think it looked as good as the Wii. I mean, maybe it can't. Maybe it's a miracle that it's on 3DS to begin with.
Well, just resolution wise, the
Yeah.
3DS still is lower resolution than a television.
Yeah.
So,
But
Are you-
I'm
an old
glad
CRT
it's the
television.
best. It's the best case scenario for me for when they're announcing a Kirby game is coming.
Yeah.
Is a remake of what I think is the best
Are you going to pick this one up for the kid?
one. Maybe. I don't know.
Might
I'll
be.
let her play the demo.
She does have the 2DS.
Yeah.
She liked that terrible that Kirby battle game.
She even spent a little time with Pokemon Quest this weekend.
Oh.
I'm just starting to cart every Pokemon thing out in front of her that's not an actual Pokemon game.
Since you brought up Pokemon, I wanted
Uh-oh.
to ask this. I saw news today that for the Pokemon Let's Go series, that it will include IVs and EVs for Pokemon. Am I not remembering this right, or did they not say way back when it was first announced that it will not have advanced features like IVs and EVs in game?
I don't remember ever hearing that in particular. No, I kind of thought it might.
Okay.
Because I heard that
Well, it's called Let's Go
Pokemon-
Eevee. Of course it's got EVs in it.
We're talking about
I know.
individual values and effort
I know.
values.
I think here's the thing is I had heard that they were adding those to Pokemon Go way back when before I quit playing it.
Yeah, the Pokemon have IVs in Pokemon Go, but they do not have EVs. Well, you can't train them. You can only power them up.
Okay. Well, interesting. I mean, they'll expand upon it, but it seems. I still think that they might let you drop these things in the Pokebank. I still think so. Possible.
That would make it more plausible, I think.
Yeah.
And remind people that Pokebank is still a thing that they still want to keep putting money into.
Yeah. Totally. I put my $5 in a year, and I haven't played a Pokemon game in.
Hopefully, if
3
you don't
years
renew
now.
it, they just erase all the Pokemon that are in it.
I've seen online because it's right. People have been talking about that with the cloud saves and stuff. I've seen online people reporting that I didn't pay it. I forgot about it for 6 months or a year, and they were still there. So, I think it's just going to come down to how much storage do we have. So how long? How many days of retention are we going to keep on these? So I'm sure if you haven't paid your bill, they'll keep it for 30 days, 90 days,
Right.
maybe
In all
not
honesty,
longer than that.
when you're talking about Pokemon that you've collected over a course of years, to me that's a bigger deal than your. Well, we'll get into the.
Well, here's another thing about cloud saves is if your cloud saves are all blown away, as long as you don't drop your Switch, that's who cares.
Yeah.
And if you re-up your subscription and you re-upload your cloud saves, fine. I mean, it really is a backup. So if you're out of backup for a short period of time, that's not, a disaster necessarily.
Somebody out there is not they're gonna forget to resubscribe and not have the auto renewal. And they're
then
like, oh,
break
I'll
their
just do it
Switch.
tomorrow. And then someone's going to steal it from them.
Oh no, it's going to be something. I was in the military and I was out of the country for 6 months and I didn't renew my subscription yet. It's going to happen. And it's going to be all over
and the
internet.
Switch saved my life because I had it in my chest pocket and it took a bullet for
and if
me.
if it comes down to it, and if it's bad enough PR for Nintendo, they'll pull backup tapes.
I have my life, but I lost my Breath of the Wild saves. So now I'm going to kill myself. But we'll get to that.
All right, yeah, we'll get to that later.
So that was all for 3DS, right? Yep. There wasn't a whole lot. Not even doing like little games anymore.
Yeah,
have you noticed on Switch, every little tiny person that makes a game, no matter what, it's a huge deal. But they never say that on 3DS.
Yeah, that's true.
And look at all this tiny crap you won't care about on 3DS. Yeah.
But I mean, right? This is still way more than we thought was coming for 3DS.
I didn't expect to see anything.
It's still on live. It's still on life support, but yeah, they're still.
I mean, a Luigi's Mansion port is, okay, it's a port, but it's a port from one of the lesser known consoles of theirs, right? The GameCube didn't sell that well.
But what's smart about that is that there have been people begging for an HD remaster of that for years. And let's say some of these people were the 3DS holdouts. They might say, oh, well, I guess it's time to pick one up now,
Yeah. And then they'll release, Luigi's Mansion 3 HD. It'll come with the Luigi's Mansion remake, probably bundled in or something.
Ooh. No.
Right?
That's just something
that'll sell the HD people. Oh, Dark Moon was okay. I didn't mind Dark Moon, but it wasn't the first game. It didn't have the same feel to it. That said, that one's going to be 3D, right? Luigi's Mansion on the 3DS.
I believe so.
Probably.
I still don't think I'll pick it up, but because I played all the way through the first one and loved it. But I don't know if
I haven't even gotten far enough through the second one to unlock the scare scraper mode.
It was a lot of fun, but very frustrating.
I never even played it. I unlocked it and I tried to get the wife to play it with me and never did. Oh, Luigi's Mansion 2 player, download play for that, right? I can have someone do download player?
I think so. Yeah.
That's the whole reason I looked into it this weekend. Because I was like, what could I do download play with the kid? And I was like, oh, Luigi's Mansion. I loaded up and it's like scare scraper mode. It's like, please play more to unlock this. Like, screw it.
Meh.
Have you played the Luigi's Mansion games, Max?
I played the second one. I played it long enough to get to where you could play online with people, and then I kind of quit.
Oh, okay. So
I never got to play online.
You unlocked scare scraper mode, and that was it. Same.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. Everyone had quit by then because it took me too long.
It was really frustrating to play. It was real popular for about a week.
Yeah,
maybe 2 weeks, and I had people trying to play with, and then they'd get dropped in a match, and then you'd restart it, and it was just frustrating. But
sounds like Nintendo's online service.
Yeah, it sounds like the standard Nintendo online experience.
Yeah,
or Triforce Heroes.
Oh, it doesn't compare to Triforce.
There were people complaining about that with Metroid as well.
Sorry, what'd you say, Jason?
I said Triforce Heroes is at the bottom of that pit of bad multiplayer experiences.
Did you play some Federation Force, Mo?
No, I
blast
never,
ball?
I
You
never, I
really
never
played
broke
any?
the plastic, but
I
I've
broke the
got a sealed
plastic and
copy
put
of
it
it.
in, and I don't. I think I put it in and honestly never fired it up. Like never actually launched the
Yeah.
cartridge, the game. I might have
But
started it once, but
I remember hearing horror stories of the online with that because you'd get so
Yeah.
far into a match and you'd get all this cool stuff and then boom, it's gone and you have to restart all over. Just a pain in the ass.
The only time I played that, oddly enough, was local multiplayer at a Nintendo event,
Wow.
and I was playing with adults, if I remember right. And
Was it
we were
just the
asked.
Rocket League mode?
No, it was the actual game.
Oh, you had the game?
No, it was at an event. I was playing the demo.
Okay,
It was
okay.
But you were playing the main game though, not blast ball.
right. I have played blast ball on my own. It was enjoyable enough, but it was people were in and out quite a bit. But yeah, I just remember playing with other people and us asking the Nintendo rep, "What do we do?" And she says, "I don't really know. I don't really remember this section," and we'd just like walk around in circles and stuff like that for a while. So
Nice. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a good time.
it was
Neat.
it was definitely a pass.
Those two games to me are like that's the poster child for Nintendo online functionality.
Yeah.
Like Triforce Heroes, that's what when people go, oh great, Nintendo Online service or whatever, that's immediately what springs to my mind is something like Triforce Heroes or like what you're describing with Federation Force or the early days of Splatoon, right?
Yeah.
With the matchmaking and the matches crashing out and whatever. Like those are the things I think of, and we haven't quite gotten to that subject yet, I guess. But I'm still thinking about it.
Well, hang on to those thoughts. We don't have much
Yeah.
longer to go here.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We've got a lot saved up for it, so stay tuned with us. Switch games. The real story here, and when Mo had already seen it, and I was talking to him when we were playing Fortnite, and he's like, "There'll be some surprise here," and he's like, "Wait for it." And he's like, "You'll be surprised when this happens." And the surprise was that we're getting 8 Final Fantasy games for the Switch.
Yeah, I was like, just keep watching.
Like one came out, okay, that's.
But wait, there's more. If you order now, you'll get a flavor injector.
This started showing them on screen as icons. It's like, you can play this game, you can play this game, you can play this game. Like, what?
Okay, I guess Enix has decided this is a viable JRPG box.
Yeah, it's like they could have done the Final Fantasy collection, but I'm sure these are probably $29, $30 pop.
Yeah, exactly. More money this way.
Or 20. I saw the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD is already out. The Nintendo Life's review for it, the headline is Pocket Edition, an inferior clone of an already divisive game. So whatever, but people will be happy to go into some of the other ones. Yeah.
And that's what we talked about was on sale. I think we talked about it last week for $18 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume they're going to stagger these to not cannibalize their own sales. Like if you put out half a dozen of your own games all at once, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they going to space these out?
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Especially now they've announced Crystal Chronicles and the Chocobo game. I think those will be kind of separate, but I don't know about all the other, and the HD, the Chibi one. And there was another Chibi one too, I think. I think those will all be separate, but the last one where it's just a list of games, I don't know.
But not 8, right? It's 7, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I don't know.
Didn't get 14 either. I know that was like isn't 14 an MMO kind of thing?
I heard so. 37's a really good one.
Yeah.
Well, if you buy all of these and put them together, you can probably get to 37.
Final Fantasy Voltron.
God, I know. That's the vehicle one, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot of
It's a lot
Final.
of so good for that. Like I said, I've said Nintendo definitely seems to be putting themselves out there as a leading RPG machine. So
I hope it eventually. This is my dream for Nintendo. Is that someday, when there's a new cool RPG comes out, and you're like, I really want to play that, you will find out it is not exclusive to the PlayStation. They
yeah,
will actually get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think the big news here is that this has been pretty much exclusive to the PlayStation for a while now and PC because it sure as hell ain't showing up on Xbox. And it wasn't showing up on the last couple Wii consoles, or the couple Wii consoles because they just weren't capable in a lot of cases. So yeah, I mean it's getting some love finally. It feels like, okay, Enix, it was Bethesda, now it's Enix. Okay, who else? Come on, guys.
Yeah, I hope it does continue. Some other developers are seeing this as we can bring some of our older games over and maybe start putting newer games on there as well.
Yeah, I would like
Yeah.
to see one more dev before Christmas. I think it's plausible to see at least one more dev announce, "Hey, we got these 2 or 3 or 4 games coming to Switch." All of a sudden,
That'd be nice.
I'm hoping it's Rockstar, but it
Yeah.
could be anybody. I'm imagining it's somebody though. I'm gonna bet that at least one more big dev is gonna surprise us with something between now and the November shopping season starting.
And
I don't know.
there was another game that was announced that has never been on a Nintendo console that I can recall.
Hmm.
And I know Max is excited for this. We're getting Katamari Damacy Reroll.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Here's another question about that I didn't think about until you just mentioned it. Yeah, that's a Sony thing. Wasn't that Sony in a house, or was that developed by somebody else?
Uh,
I don't know.
Like, yeah, who's putting this on Switch? Who's publishing it?
what did you play it on, Max?
I play on PlayStation, but they
it's
have one. They
it's
have one
Namco.
Katamari game for Xbox, and they have that.
Namco's putting it out.
Yeah.
Okay, was it Namco originally?
Yep, a Namco game from 2004 for the PlayStation
Yeah.
2, but it is getting an HD coat of paint, and they're adding gyro controls, HD rumble, multiplayer stuff. So
Yeah.
it's
You
getting
know,
a Switch treatment.
How would you describe this game, Max?
Oh, you have this. They have the Katamari. It's like a ball, and you roll it around, and you pick stuff up, and it gets bigger and bigger. And each level, like the things you roll, get bigger, and finally at the end, you're rolling up the world, rolling up all the continents and stuff.
I read an article on it recently, like an interview with the original developer. Did anyone else read this, or am I just?
No,
No, I didn't see
I
that.
can't remember if somebody posted it from like our group chat or not. But it was an article. It was an interview with the guy who developed it. He said the game was supposed to be a metaphor for like the evils of consumerism.
No?
Right?
No.
Because you're gathering up all the stuff and throwing it away. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like that reminds me of those. What was that Fireplace game for?
Oh yeah.
Wii
Shoot,
U,
yeah. What was that called?
it's on
Little
Switch
Inferno.
now too. Little Inferno, yeah. But yeah, I had a friend that I remember him talking about Katamari back in probably 2004 or 2005, like whatever it was. That he was like, "Oh, it's too bad you don't have a PlayStation because this game is awesome." He said he might double dip for this. He was like, because they've made a few sequels since then, and he said none of them have been as good as the first one.
Yeah, the first one has the best music in it too.
I mean,
I remember. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I've played the mobile version, which is the only version that I've had available to me, and it's just like wacky, crazy stuff, but it does have kind of a
It's
cool
weird,
music and a
wild
cool
stuff.
world.
And it'll be way better with a stick and buttons.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Or gyro control.
the mobile game was kind of horrible, but
Yeah.
No, the original one I remember. I'm pretty sure it was on PSP. I'm pretty sure that's where I first saw it. I think my buddy brought it over on his PSP and was talking me into playing it, or maybe I was playing it on his PlayStation. But it was one of those rare times where I was like, "Oh, why isn't this on a Nintendo console?
Yeah, that's
Or
what everyone said.
it was, I say one of those rare times. It was one of those rare times back then. It was, it was a rare occasion that you said that, and it became more and more common from about that point on. Right. That was actually probably that might have been the first time that I was like, hey, wait a minute. Why isn't this on Nintendo? And then it kind of was all downhill from there. Like, right, Genesis had some cool exclusive, but you accepted that it was that generation console wars, but it was Sony was the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Sorry, not to be a downer.
Bum everybody out. No.
Yeah, now we're all bummed out.
But here I'm all optimistic that another dev is going to drop more games. That's not me normally. That's just me after this direct. Apparently, like I'm, oh.
Capcom's got a beat 'em up bundle coming with one game that I've heard of in it.
Yeah. Where? Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I was all excited, and then I started rattling them off, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess
I've
people who are outside of Nintendo's ecosystem might know the other games, maybe.
I've been digging through the ROMs lately and going through all the retro stuff because I've been hacking the minis. So I'm familiar with the names. Like I've seen the names, but like they're nothing I ever played mostly.
Maybe they were all Japanese only or something.
I don't know.
Well, like
because a lot of them look 16-bit, but I don't know. I'm still boycotting Capcom until I get my Disney Afternoon collection.
I know of all the bundles they could release, why don't we get that Afternoon collection finally on the Switch?
I think the Capcom one actually came out, or no, I don't remember when it comes out. Let's see, it's coming out soon, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I've seen some people pumped about it, but they're really only pumped for Final Fight, which was one of the few Super NES games I actually owned. When I bought a Super NES, I literally had, for the longest time, Super Mario World and Final Fight, which I literally just went to the store and parents were like, you can have any game. I was like, that one says fight. I guess I'll try that one. It was okay. I didn't realize it was a classic until much later.
I actually played that in the arcade.
Wow.
So I remember that. I think it's the one I'm thinking of. And there was also, I don't think this was in the direct at all. And I know it wasn't in the direct, but wasn't there a Sega collection also announced like within the last day or so?
Yeah, like today, I think is when I first. So it's we talked about it a few months ago that they're releasing the Sega Genesis collection for everything except for Switch, and now it's coming out to Switch. So now we've got Sonic Ages, which is going to bring us individual games for like $8 to $10 a piece. So you can get like Sonic the Hedgehog by M2. Or for like $30, you can get 50 Genesis games, which seems like a much better value to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they used to always sell them back in the day. I have the PS3 Genesis collection, and it was a sweet. The other thing about it is, when you bought that collection, like half the games you had to go, beat the second boss in Sonic 2 to unlock, some other game in the collection. I hope they do something like that.
Yeah.
Right? When they sell a collection like that, they can make it fun, like the minis, right? The minis.
Yeah,
You got
I think the Mega Man
Star
collection
Fox
on
2.
GameCube might have been like that.
Yeah.
You had to do something to unlock extra games, extra Mega Man games, or maybe it was just for like galleries or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like that Genesis collection, that's pretty much all I ever played of those games. When I bought that Genesis collection, was everything I had to do to unlock all the games, and then I basically put it away and never touched it again. But I had a good time unlocking all that stuff,
I don't have a ton of nostalgia for Genesis, so it's like
I don't at all.
I just want to play Gunstar Heroes and rebuy it for every Nintendo system I can. Which so far is just Wii and 3DS.
Since I mentioned playing Katamari on mobile, I will also mention most of these games in the bundle are available for free on mobile if you just really have an itch to play something.
Yeah, as long as you don't mind that they're unplayable.
Yeah, they're terrible to play, but if you have something that you can
at least test them out, consider it a really bad demo.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Another game coming to the Switch, which I thought was kind of a big deal. I don't know that any of us are really into it. We're getting Civilization 6. And I know that was much talked about when it released for other consoles, so I feel like that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
This
was
would be good.
a good one. And like the City Skylines, like that was a game that people liked years ago.
Have we heard anything about how the controls are going to work on these? Like, I
The
can't
Ci-
see Civ 6 working without touchscreen.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
something to make it easier.
City Skylines was available that same day. I don't think they actually mentioned it, but when I
Yeah,
looked in the eShop, it's like it's there. It's like, oh,
Yeah, I
I've
saw it too.
I have seen complaints of that it dips below 30 FPS.
mm.
And
But it's for a
it's like,
strategy game. Who cares?
but what do you want? It's Switch. Well, like part of it is that you can like zoom in on individual people within your city and follow them around.
Yeah.
And that's when they say it's usually it runs at a when it's zoomed out, it usually runs at a pretty crisp, almost always 30 FPS. But that once you start zooming in on people, then it does dip
Starts
and
chunking.
becomes very stuttery. Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever. They've
Well,
sometimes they patch stuff, sometimes they don't.
yeah.
At this price for a game that most Nintendo fans are probably not familiar with the game very much, I don't know how well it's going to do.
And I did check on it because it's something I'm interested in, and it's the same price on Steam as it is on
Yeah.
Switch.
Oh,
So,
nice.
so if you were thinking maybe it's $30, I think I remember right.
Yeah.
But so if you're thinking about it, go ahead and get the Switch version. But,
Looks like a SimCity kind of evolution.
Yeah. Civ, I'm keenly interested in reading the reviews and hearing like Civilization, whenever it launches for any platform, always seems to be a mess until a couple patches come out.
Yeah.
So I'll expect the Switch one to be no different. But I would genuinely consider picking it up on Switch if it has good touchscreen controls and if it does good pointer controls with the Joy Cons. Like, you know what I mean? If it seems like
Yeah.
it's well polished and well done and the controls are done well, I would consider picking up on Switch instead of PC. Now I don't know if I have the kind of time that it requires to play that kind of game these days, but I definitely would consider it.
Have you played past versions of the game?
Oh yeah, like since forever ago. Like I don't know what the first version of Civilization is I played. It might have been the first version of Civilization. Geez, 25 years ago or something, 30 years ago.
They've been around.
They've been around forever. And I haven't like consistently played them. Like I played them way back when, and then I hadn't touched a Civ game in a decade or two. And then I picked up Civilization 5 a year or two ago, a couple of years ago, and played. I didn't put a ton of time into it, but I played a couple rounds through and had a good time. And it's all nice and pretty in 3D these days, of course. I'm sure the Switch will handle that with some hits the same way it does Fortnite or anything else. But this thing, because it's not an action game, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can deal with, like, when I was playing at the time, I had a weaker PC when I was playing Civ 5, and I dealt with all sorts of stutters and slowdowns and whatever because I just had kind of a crappy video card at the time. So I mean, you know what I mean? It doesn't that kind of game. It doesn't bother you because it's a strategy game. So I think same thing with cities. Like a little stuttering here and there when you're watching your people walking around is different than when somebody's shooting at you, right?
Yeah.
So I think they'll be able to get away with a little more for those kind of games, and that's great. I mean, like I said, even if it's not the optimum experience, I would still totally consider it on Switch to have it portable and to, again, as long as they do some nice controls and it's well done, I would totally consider it as the option of choice.
And this would be great for like airplane games or something where you're going to be
stuck for a long time somewhere, exactly, or waiting for your car, or sitting at the car wash, or whatever the case may be. All stuff related to my car, I guess. But I'm waiting at the DMV once again, keeping with the car theme.
That's right.
But anyway,
Anyway, yeah. Speaking of cities, we did get another game announced, which I don't think anything had been mentioned before the direct. Developed by Game Freak, Town, I think is the name of it, which is an RPG.
Working title.
Yeah, they're going to have to work to make me interested in that game.
Oh.
so
Well, it seems like they didn't even know exactly what it was. They were just like, we're not sure what's going on here, but somehow a town is involved, and it is a Game Freak RPG, and we'll find out more next year.
I think what happened here is a bunch of Game Freak people sat down and said, okay, what are the most popular games we can think of that all kind of in this fit with the same theme, and they're like, okay, so Animal Crossing, Pokemon, maybe a little Yokai Watch, and okay, let's come up with a new game that kind of takes what people like about all of those. It feels like I don't
But it
know,
all takes place within one town.
Yeah, you don't go
like Animal
exploring.
Crossing.
So.
Yeah. Or ActRaiser.
It's like, well, I think it's Game Freak's take on Animal Crossing, kind of like Level 5's take on Pokemon is Yokai Watch. That's my feeling.
But with monsters.
Yeah,
We haven't got those yet in Animal Crossing.
that's true. But yeah, throw a little
Wow.
Monster Hunter in with it.
Have you seen that one villager that looks like a clown? But anyway,
No.
Pietro.
Pietro.
Oh, Animal
That's
Crossing.
the guy.
Yeah, Pietro. Yeah.
I had him for a while, man. I really wanted him to leave, and he never did. I bet he has now because I haven't played Animal Crossing.
Everyone in your town will have moved except him.
Yeah, that'll be my. Yeah, probably. Except the one guy I taught to say asshole or whatever. Oh, you can't do that anymore. I missed those old games, man.
All right. Any other games from the direct that really stuck out? Oh, yes, there was one.
A boring board game.
Asmodee, whatever.
Yeah. It's like a service, more Starlink stuff.
I've heard of that board game though. That's like a big thing with
Catan's
millennials,
a big one. Yeah.
Oh, Catan's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I think that was pretty much all the stuff that was like new as far as, well,
We got one more game announced that
there's a
was
big
rumored,
one at the end. Yeah.
and that was New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
Oh God! And they're expecting you to pay money for it. I'm shocked that wasn't included as part of your Switch Online subscription.
I like also that they
surprise
mentioned
bonus.
that new Super Luigi U is going to be in there at no additional cost.
Yeah.
Which they even bundled that at no additional cost during the
On the
Wii
Wii
U.
U, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, this is just an embarrassment.
Of riches. Oh.
Remember, we were speculating if they'd come up with a way to rip you out of the title, but they didn't.
Yeah, no. But they have added Toadette.
Oh,
Peachette.
This is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. So Toadette,
when she gets a mushroom, she turns into Peach.
Sort of.
Peachette.
A Peach-esque Peachette character.
When Stormy Daniels eats a mushroom, he turns into a Thousandaire. Go ahead.
So, move on far away from this. So, yeah. But that was basically all for the Switch that was in the Switch section. We did have some bigger games mentioned at the end. The first one was, as we've been talking about, Luigi's Mansion 3. It's confirmed for Switch. Pretty excited about that, I guess.
Yeah. Again, there was very little. I mean, at the beginning, you're just like, are they showing Luigi's Mansion 2 for 3DS? Or, I mean, Luigi's Mansion 1 for 3DS? Or what am I looking at here? It's like, oh, I guess they're making another one. Boom, here's a JPEG.
Well, they had a slight bit of video.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I felt the same way when I saw the video. I thought they were just going to announce Luigi's Mansion is also coming to Switch, but
Yeah.
it's a new game.
Hooray. I mean, I've been seeing it on Twitter for years, so people want it.
That's
Now
right.
they get it.
Yeah.
We're going to try to make this a real thing.
Yeah, I think it's, the original was a good enough game. They must have sold enough of the second one on the 3DS, right? To justify both of these.
I remember I wanted that little Club Nintendo statue for Luigi's
Yeah.
Mansion,
Yeah.
Yes.
even though I didn't even care for the games.
I did totally want it. I never got it, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted it too.
No F-Zero, though.
Yeah, do we
Don't
want to talk
depress
about
me.
the games that were not mentioned that we may have expected? Before
F-Zero and Steel Diver. Yeah.
Well, that was pretty much it.
I'm doomed to be depressed always if I'm looking for those games.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yoshi's Crafted World.
That's right. That's one from earlier. But I mean, that was little more than a name on it.
Yeah. Confirmed name, and then just some more stuff announced. I did notice NBA. If you notice, NBA Playgrounds, which I swear was only a big seller on Switch because there was literally no
Nothing
other sports
else.
games at the time.
It was the first sports game, yeah.
Yeah, but now it is. Have you noticed the new name change? NBA 2K Playgrounds 2.
Yeah.
2K has purchased NBA Playgrounds, so they do such a good job on the Switch.
Yeah, since they handled the main NBA license so well. Jeez. Yeah, no, so obviously don't get that one.
Yeah.
I like how
Smash bundle.
I like how they sold that as like the definitive sports game or sports series. And it's like, wow.
Yeah. It's got a lot of microtransactions on it.
No.
But yeah, we got two bundles. We knew. Did we talk? We talked about the Eevee and Pikachu bundle last week, I think.
Yep, that's right.
The Switch one that was limited or that was rumored is now confirmed for Smash Brothers as well, with the laziest fucking Joy-Con I've ever seen.
Oh wow!
They literally took like a silver magic marker and just threw a stripe on that right one.
I don't think that's silver, dude. I think that's white.
Oh, is it white?
I think that's just plain white.
Yeah,
that is a plain white decal on a
Hey guys,
set
what do
of
we do with
gray
all these
Joy-Con.
leftover gray Joy-Con that nobody's buying aftermarket?
No, yeah, exactly. Or the ones, or the refurbished ones because we had to repair the left one. Yeah,
put a sticker on it.
Totally. Yeah, put a sticker on it and ship them back out, man.
As we said at the time, it looks like someone bought some of that whiteout tape and just
the correction tape and just put a stripe down them.
Yeah.
It's half-assed. It's. Remember the Zelda Wii U? We were like, okay, it's a Zelda. It's got a Zelda theme gamepad, but it's a pretty half-assed.
Yeah.
Like this is even more half-assed, I would say.
And but if you remember
the decal
3DS,
on the dock's okay, but
when the 3DS came out, that was Smash Brothers. I think it had almost the same thing. It was like very similar. If you remember when the 3DS for Smash came out, it was just black and white pictures of the characters.
Oh, that's true.
And this is another black and white pictures of the characters. God, I want to pull that up now. Like, is it the same thing? Because it doesn't have any of the new characters. It's just the old
originals, kind of.
Yeah, the OGs. Because I remember I thought about getting that 3DS because it had Samus on it, and I was just like, no, I won't do it. Luckily, by some miracle, the Samus 3DS came out. Yeah, I guess it's a different picture, but it's god awful too. Yeah. Man, that is awful. I don't think I ever saw one of those in the wild.
I don't think I did either.
I forgot how bad that looked. Man. But anyway.
That was on a new 3DS, right?
No.
No.
That was before the new. Well, or was it? Because you would have thought that would have been a good time for them to
I think it was.
It's got the little stick. Yeah, I guess it was. Because it had that little stick because that was one of the big features of there.
Because see, I think I debated on getting that as well and passed, and I ended up buying the Fire Emblem one, which I'm glad I waited on. It's also white with very slightly gray decals.
But it's kind of boring. But the Christmas is coming up. There's a super duper 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 edition. I think that might have some of the other stuff with it possibly. I know Smash has got a bundle that's going to have the GameCube controller and the adapter. I did think it was really funny, which I don't know if anyone else caught this when they showed the Smash thing. It says include the digital download of the game, and I'm pretty sure that's going to take up the entire hard drive.
Wow.
Because they don't know how to make a small Smash game.
This should include a built-in or a packed-in rather
SD card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and this wasn't in the direct, but we're also getting a Fortnite bundle that I saw that was announced today.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up later because it does reveal the Fortnite Switch exclusive character, or at least that's what I would take it to mean.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, really? Okay. I saw 10 or 1,000 V-Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which isn't very. I mean, it's enough to buy a battle pass, but that's
it. Yep.
That's really not that much. Yeah, I'm kind of shocked they wouldn't just throw in an extra 5 or 10. I don't know.
But this character, the skin you get, it does come with a glider,
and a pickaxe.
And a pickaxe.
Yep. Oh wow, it's a whole set.
However, it's a skin that's just simply a recolor of one that's already available to buy.
Which is
most of them, though.
And the glider and the pickaxe are the one that I use in the game, but mine are green, and they've recolored them white and red. Mine are black and green, and they've recolored them white and red. So everything's just recolored for the most part.
Yeah, I was comparing this, and I posted this earlier in our chat. The pictures from the others. Sony has their character. Xbox has one rumored going to be coming exclusive skin, and then there's one for Samsung, of course, that we've all talked about, know about. Where does the Switch one fall in? Is it better than the Galaxy skin? I don't think it's as cool.
It's not better than the Galaxy skin for sure, but I mean they're all recolors. I think all the exclusive ones I think are recolors of other ones.
I think it's a little better than the PlayStation one, and probably about the same as the one that I've seen pictures of for the Xbox. But I don't know. We'll see.
None of them are as good as the Dirt Burger.
No.
Beef Boss.
Do we think that we will get this for having Nintendo Switch Online, or because the one for PlayStation is for PS Plus?
I doubt it.
So you think it'll be locked to the bundle?
I think so. And I wonder if there'll be a download code or something included that people can sell on eBay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Let's see.
Be nice if we got it for free.
But I guess there was one more thing.
Yeah, when I spoke of a roller coaster of emotions, and I believe that's how Max described it when we were talking about it before. First off, we got Isabelle announced for Smash. I don't think anyone was expecting that.
Or wanted it.
Yeah.
And there was some discussion, and I know Z had brought this up. Is Isabelle the character from Animal Crossing we wanted to see added?
Yeah, hell no. There's so many other better characters.
I would rather have KK Slider smashing people over the head with his guitar.
Yeah, with a guitar, absolutely. Oh my God, is that not just an utter given that he would have been the first choice
or
second
Tom
choice, or Nook? Yeah, Nook, just because he's such a main character and because he can be kind of an asshole. But Rossetti, dude, Rossetti's got a pickaxe.
He's got a pickaxe.
Yeah,
man. Good in Fortnite too. Rossetti skin.
That's true. Yeah, man.
But Rossetti is that's a really good call.
That would have been the Nintendo exclusive. Jesus,
and then you've got two dog guards. The dog guards. They're trained to fight. These are trained fighting animals.
That's Copper and
Booker.
Yep.
Hooker.
Was Isabel around? Is New Leaf like her? Was that
She's
her
That's her
new.
first
appearance?
time.
That's her
Yeah.
first game. Yeah, of course they put the new character that nobody gives a shit
Yeah.
about. Why do they always do
It
that?
could have been
It's
worse. They
marketing.
could have put Dottie.
Oh, do not say that. That's
Oh, I hope Dottie's an Echo Fighter. like, here's the other character you don't care about,
Is that the monkey from Happy Home Designer?
or whatever
He's
it
an
is
otter.
supposed to be. An otter.
Or is she an otter?
Jesus. Oh, maybe
She's a
Digby.
monkey.
Maybe
I didn't
Digby
know
would be a
that's what she
better.
was.
Maybe Digby would be a better Echo Fighter because they're supposed to be twins, aren't they, or something, or
Yeah.
brother and sister?
Yeah.
But
That just kills me. Why? Seriously, why not go with an OG character? Why the
Rover.
dude?
His smash would be a train comes out. And runs
That to
over
me says Smash is a marketing tool more than a game.
Yeah.
That's not fan service. That's right. Putting an old school character is fan service. Putting a new character in is fucking marketing.
Like I never really liked Isabel, but I tolerated her because I liked the game.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't particularly dislike her. I just like you're there. You're the secretary. Exactly. You're a secondary character.
You're standing in the plaza. What made up holiday is it today?
Yeah. But there's Captain, dude. Tortimer's got a cane.
Captain Stabbing.
Pascal.
Pascal. You could smoke him out.
You name it.
There's some
Tortimer?
with his cane.
With his cane,
Yeah.
I would love that.
Yeah.
But I did think of something.
We're just now starting to realize there's all these Animal Crossing characters that come equipped with weapons already.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
There were two things about Isabel that I did think after thinking.
Captain could have an oar. Sorry, go ahead.
Isabel was in Mario Kart 8 as DLC, so she's kind of established a little bit as a DLC character.
As marketing.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if you talk about characters that you hate, you have to hate Isabel just a little bit if you've ever tried to build anything in
move a bridge.
True. She can be frigging picky and irritating about where you put shit.
And I think this also will now make her the least significant character to ever have 3 amiibos.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Cards.
Wait a minute. We're not even going to be done with our Animal Crossing amiibo collection. We'll have to buy one more.
But it'll be a Smash amiibo though.
It'll probably
They did release an alternate color amiibo for Isabel, didn't they?
Yeah, there was a summer and winter outfit for
I just randomly decided to buy 2 packs of those Animal Crossing cards, and I got the alternate color amiibo card of Isabel in one of those 2 packs. So I scored
got an Isabel in one of mine.
The amiibo. Yeah, she must be a super common one then.
Wow.
Whatever.
But yeah, Nintendo did kind of troll with the reveal because they showed that and you thought it wasn't gonna. You're like, oh man, are they really gonna do this? Are they really stepping on people's hopes and dreams? And then they show Nook and
sitting in an office,
and then
they showed
JPEG.
And they showed Isabel first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Before we get to the JPEG, though, I want to know, when you see Nook, what came to mind? What did you think was going to happen?
Nook is also in the battle.
Yeah.
Yep. That was my first thought. My second thought, after he started talking about moving and sitting at a desk.
Oh, yeah.
Happy Home Designer 2.
Yep, I thought that too.
That's when I was gripped with fear. Not that I enjoyed Happy Home Designer.
I did too. It was fun.
I do not want Happy Home Designer 2 as my next Animal Crossing game.
No.
Well, this is a new main line.
That's right.
Which is also
Animal Crossing.
Not what I wanted for my next Animal Crossing game.
Well, you don't know. You don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is yet, but
unless it's a picture.
Now, here's the thing, and we are paying them for online service. So I hope to God this better have a vastly improved online experience over previous games, because like back in the DS days, that was pretty hip shit, being able to go into each other's towns and shake each other's trees and whatever. You know what I mean? That was current technology, and that was cool. That was neat. That was fun. Nowadays, it's a social thing, but it's otherwise pretty stale. That's pretty 1990s or early 2000s. Like, it's 2018.
We're
We
gonna be
need,
able to use the Nintendo Online app to voice chat
Yes.
while we're in the towns.
yeah, exactly. I know, and that gives me no hope. But I just write some sort of persistent online something. Give me something.
You know that app's going to have a clothing store just like in Splatoon. So
Yeah.
I mean,
or
that's not the
furniture.
same. That's not the same thing, though, that I'm talking about. You know what
no,
I'm
I know.
talking
I
about.
know what you're talking about. You're
Yeah.
talking about
It
basically
doesn't,
MMO Animal Crossing.
not necessarily.
Sort of.
Just some aspects of that, some components to that, some live real world interaction. Something basically like Street Pass, but online, right? Something that you can interact with random people and strangers, but in real time, not after you've passed them on the street and gotten home.
Yeah, they might do a showcase thing or
You know what I mean? Without exchanging friend codes, without having to pass,
Yeah.
any of that kind of stuff, that there's some sort of online hub where you can find people and interact and trade stuff. And you know what I mean? Those are the kind of things that we need out of an online service and out of modern Nintendo games. And I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but right, it's Animal Crossing to me is one of the games that absolutely has to have it. Pokemon also,
like I
right?
said, with the
You know-
2019, I'm thinking it's next Christmas.
I am too.
Yeah,
I have to
but
bring,
possibly next summer, because they have, I think their last few have been before summer. Go ahead, Jason.
I had this discussion, and I believe we had this discussion around 2017 with probably one of the most heavily invested Animal Crossing players I know. And she's been on the podcast before, I think. But we were discussing when would the next Animal Crossing come, and this was like 2016, 2017. And I predicted at the earliest we would see Animal Crossing in 2019. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think this game is going to be delayed.
Oh yeah, I do
I-
too.
I don't see how this game is going to go from a JPEG to an E3 demo,
Yeah.
even.
Well,
Unless
they
they're
haven't.
largely porting the 3DS one, but go ahead.
They still haven't said anything about Metroid since the E3 reveal last year. So at least this one they're giving a date. So they must think they've got it ready. I'm sure they probably put more resources, especially more Nintendo in-house resources, to an Animal Crossing game than they do
Then,
to
dude, yeah,
a Metroid game where they're just
Breath of the Metroid, it will not be.
yeah, and it's not super graphically challenging, probably.
Well,
I don't think they're gonna keep upping. I mean, they'll give it a nice HD coat, but
I think it's just going to be an HD.
it's
Prime
just gonna be an
3.
HD New World. No, or New
Oh,
Leaf.
you're talking about
Yeah,
Prime
Animal
3.
Crossing.
I
Yeah,
agree. I agree on
yeah.
that.
No, Metroid. I think they're gonna want to wow people with.
I think it's gonna. Yeah, I think it's gonna push. It's gonna be something on par with Doom or whatever they can
Yeah.
squeeze. Yeah, I agree. Animal Crossing, I think. I don't know. They might be able to make it. They might be able to fancy it up a little bit, but overall, I think you're right. It's going to just be an HD sheen on the same old turd. This isn't really a turd, but just
Hopefully the
it's.
grass will still degrade. Maybe
But
they can make it worse.
even the most, you can bring home the most beautiful, bouquet of flowers, but after a while, it's just a rotten thing you got to throw out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
After
Animal
having played New
Crossing.
Leaf as much as I did, man, I don't know if they can make it fresh for me.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
You
It
get
needs
burnt out,
something
but
new.
it comes back. I think. I think after you see the new game and
Hmm
start to
Has
play.
Pokemon come back for you yet?
No, but
That's the thing, is you can get burnt out so many times. Like, I got burnt out on Pokemon a few times, but came back. But like, I I think I'm burnt out for good this time, unless they really were to give me something new. And Animal Crossing, I think I might be the same way. Like I only played so far in the New Leaf. I never finished my house. I never, I
Wow.
got close, but I didn't.
We don't know you.
You're one of those people. I remember there were people I would play with for like 6 months, and I'd be like, dude, when are you just gonna just expand your house? Like, I know you got the money for it. Just expand it.
No, I
You wanna
didn't.
walk
I
up
just
to them and
didn't
drop the money on the
play that
ground.
much.
Fix your house, man.
I used to do that too. I would drop to people's towns and just leave money bags hidden all over their town. Like when I would walk and roam, most people, they're shaking your trees and stealing your crap. I would run around and just drop money bags all over the place. So when they were later walking, they'd be like, "Oh, here's whatever it was, $1,000 or whatever the max was, 999."
No, I had a friend of mine that used to bring me cash. I was burnt out by the time New Leaf rolled around.
Yeah.
I didn't play the first one, but I played DS was the one I played the living shit out of.
Mm.
And then the Wii one I played some of. And then New Leaf was cool and had a lot of new stuff to it, so I was into it for a while, but I got burnt out still relatively fast.
Go to the island, pick up some chicks.
It was the wife's first Animal Crossing game, so she played the shit out of it.
Yeah, there's
But I don't know that she would be down to play another probably.
10 out of 10.
Looking at this though, from like a marketing standpoint for Nintendo, first year of the Switch was new. We had Breath of the Wild, and then we've got the second year. This year we've had Smash to talk about, and that's kind of it. But I'm wondering if they will go. Well, we had first year we had Zelda and we had Mario, but I'm wondering if they're trying to go back to that 2 game a year type thing.
Splatoon 2. Oh,
The 1-2 punch.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch.
I hear Reggie saying, 1-2 punch around, a conference table in a room in a marketing meeting.
I
like
wonder.
arms and 1-2 switch.
I wonder if that will be Pokemon and Animal Crossing.
Should be.
That would be
yeah.
things that people would talk about and create a lot of buzz around the console.
But here's the thing: is like what they're going with here is 2 very different kind of games, and it's kind of the same thing with Mario and Zelda.
Year 3 is for the plushy crowd.
Yeah, but all of a sudden I don't know. I mean, yeah, if they can do a 1-2 punch with those 2 games, that would sell a lot of Switches. Don't get me wrong. But it seems like they'd need something a little more adult to draw people in. They'll probably port Pikmin.
Oh, I would love that.
Yeah, where the hell is Pikmin?
Pikmin 4 was done, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
I don't know. They'll get to Pikmin eventually. You can, dude. If they're porting Super Mario U, then
Yeah,
they are going to port. They are going to port absolutely everything they ever released on the Wii U. If they're porting that, in my opinion,
or at least the classics line.
any of the AAA, the AAA or AA or whatever, like anything from the level of Captain Toad and up will see the light of day on Switch. You guarantee it.
New Super Mario Brothers U, $60, you think?
Yeah. Pretty sure it is.
Oh my God, really?
Yep.
I cannot believe that. That's just.
But they're throwing in Luigi U for no additional cost.
That
and
is
they're even going to remove the Miiverse functionality for you.
That is such incredible balls to try to sell that for $60. But then so was Donkey Kong.
It should be the horrible pack-in that nobody wants.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Odyssey should just be a pack-in. That's just me.
They should have a bundle, yeah, but go ahead.
Before we wander off from Animal Crossing, there is one thing that has continued to bother me about Animal Crossing, especially with Pocket Camp. We found out, the numbers recently, and then we see the Splatoon 2 crossover event going on, and people are talking about that. I just keep thinking, what kind of connection or what kind of crossover are we going to have between this new Animal Crossing and Pocket Camp? That's what scares me about Animal Crossing.
That'll probably depend on how well Let's Go Poke Your Mom does.
Finally, we'll get some fortune cookies in a mainline Animal Crossing. Oh, wait, we've had them.
Yeah.
We just didn't have to pay for them.
Yeah.
Well, we did with play coins, but since they don't have play coins on the Switch, we'll just have to use real gold coins from from
Oh, maybe you use platinum coins for it, I bet. That's something they'd let you get for platinum coins in game stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would
I'm
rather
scared of
not see any
microtransactions,
integration.
but
I think they're testing the waters with the Pokemon integration, and I hope it just fails miserably and they don't do it again.
If it means that things like microtransactions will come to regular Switch games, then I have to say I would agree with you. I hope
Well,
nothing like that.
Yeah.
even that, I would not in any way want to feel like, oh, I got to play this terrible phone game to get something for Animal Crossing on the Switch. You know what I mean? It's kind of like how you played those terrible online web games, the Flash games for Pokemon, the Dream World stuff. Like I would I didn't mind that so much. But I still wouldn't prefer it not be there, not be part of the game. Like I get the idea that they want to make something outside of the game itself, that connects to the game, but not any of these phone games, dude. They're terrible, especially not Pocket Cramps.
Scary thing to think about. Hopefully, if there's anything good to come from Pocket Camp, that's what will make it. But yeah, I worry too about stuff being locked behind. You had to have unlocked this, or you had to have done this in Pocket Camp to have it in the game.
Yeah.
All that
But
furniture that you make.
hell no. Yeah.
No.
Anything that requires me to do anything in Pocket Camp to get something in Animal Crossing will piss me off.
All right. Since we're talking about being let down in games, I guess it is time to talk about the dreaded topic, Nintendo Switch Online. It has happened. I think we have all downloaded it now. We've done the 6.0 update. I guess that's what we should start talking about is the update before we get into the actual online.
That was like a 3-minute download.
Yeah, I know we
Yeah.
It
all.
was hardly any bigger than the usual performance enhancements and stability upgrades.
I don't know why, but I was expecting like maybe there will be a surprise in there. Maybe we'll get
Golf
something.
for NES.
Maybe we'll get a theme or something, but nope.
Dick looks exactly
Yeah.
the same.
We got some Captain Toad treasure tracker avatars. Finally.
So did Stormy Daniels.
That's true.
So anyway,
she was tracking some Captain Toad treasure.
I've asked if you followed the news stories and you know about this. I've asked them not to speak about this, but it's.
Oh, did you? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
but anyway, yeah, you did. Anyway, so going back to Nintendo Switch Online, what's your first impressions?
Nothing.
It's the same NES games we've had. Now we've got them again.
We paid $20 for an NES collection, which, on the face of it, doesn't seem like a terrible deal, but that really does seem to be all we've gotten. Like,
Yeah.
I don't see any. It's like I paid my $20 here. You can download this collection of NES games. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for your money. Now, get your ass out of the eShop and go back to the main menu, please. Like, there's nothing else for you to do here.
Yeah, it's well, we booted up. Jason and I I mean, this just came out tonight when we're recording, so
Yeah.
it literally just came out. We're even recording a little bit later to accommodate the update and everything, so we can get some hands on for you guys. We played some Tecmo Bowl, some River City Ransom, some Mario Bros. We used the dreaded Nintendo app.
Oh yeah.
We had some connection issues.
Yeah, I will say the app got another update on iOS today, which is the second one since the Direct, I think. And I think it worked a little smoother. There wasn't so many go into this menu and connect. It worked a little more intuitively. Yeah, but we started out voice chatting on the app, and the connection issues were so bad that we said let's shut down the app in case that's draining, some of the uh, something from our gameplay. And we ended up switching to Hangouts to chat, but it was close to being frustratingly unplayable at points, and it was. We got disconnected, so
Yeah,
funny.
and lots of lag. It would tell you to check your latency
In the settings.
in the settings, but the only thing that's in the settings is your screen resolutions, which there is no stretched. There's just 4:3 pixel perfect, which is 4:3, and like a CRT filter. So it's less fully featured than the NES Classic, it seems like.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, and I think we've all found out. And I know Max said she hadn't played some of these games.
I didn't miss anything.
Yeah, these are games you haven't
Dog
played on
shit.
purpose.
Yeah, soccer, ice climber, balloon fight.
I think
Unbeloved.
games that you definitely remember and games you have heard of, but games you never want to play again.
Yeah.
If it did run smoothly and there was no lag, do you think you would still want to play more online?
I mean, maybe it's like, we played Tecmo Bowl, which you've not really played, but you could see it's a quality game.
Yeah, I
And
might go back.
that could be fun every now and then. Just pull up a game, and I could see if you and your friend from grade school or high school used to play a game like that, and you were nostalgic, and now it's kind of cool that you can hook back up, even though you live in different cities and have families and whatever, and whip out the old Tecmo Bowl some more. Like, that's that's a cool feature of it. I don't think anyone really wants to play Mario 3 and take turns or use the
Zelda.
stupid pointer and clap for your
There
friends.
there
we
will
gotta
be
talk about
some
the
people
pointer.
messing with that, but yeah, I
I
don't
could
think
see with
that's a
Zelda, you
huge
could be like,
draw.
"Oh,
But
check this bush," you know, knock out this
I see
bush,
more
blow
people
up this
just
wall.
kids screwing with their friends and
Yeah,
trying to screw them up with the pointer,
yeah.
waving it over their head, over their character when they're trying to fight and stuff like that. That's what I see that doing.
For the online play, I would like to sometime. I don't know how long these games are, either like the Double Dragon or the River City Rampage or something. Maybe sit down one night and play through it. I'd imagine they wouldn't be very long.
Yeah.
And play with someone, which is something I never did as a kid very often.
Well, here's the thing: they're not very long, but some of them are friggin' brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double
But
Dragon
sorry.
sucks after a couple levels.
Yeah, a lot of those games about halfway through, like they just didn't expect many kids to play that far into it. And so that like the levels just get A, stupid difficult, and B, just like poorly designed and like, oh, Russian Attack. You ever play Russian Attack?
No.
I'm convinced
No.
I'm convinced the
Yeah, I used to play
developers
that.
decided nobody was ever going to get past like the
That
first or
was
second level of that
Konami.
game. Yeah. And the arcade version was a beautiful game, which I still haven't been able to get working on the main ROM. But the Nintendo one was not very good.
Yeah. I think I played that on Commodore 64 the first time as well. But I guess I never realized until tonight that Punch Out is not in the original lineup of games coming, and it won't be coming out this year because they're only doing 3 a month because they're so difficult to pump out apparently. And so we know for the rest of the year we're not getting Punch Out. But these games, it's like, they're doing themselves a disservice by including this 7-day free trial, because anyone that signs up for the free trial is going to be like, well, maybe I'll just wait.
Yeah.
I've never
That's
had
true.
one of my systems lost or stolen before. I don't really take it out of the house to get stolen, and I don't drop it. So maybe I'll just wait. Because you play these games go between these 20 games for about an hour, and you're already bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most of these you
I would
play.
agree.
Most of them, if you haven't played them, you play them to see what it's like, and you're like, "This is horrible," and then you open up the next one.
A lot of them are
Yeah.
OG black box games, which
Mhm.
were the simplest of the simple.
Yeah.
Back then. I mean, they're like, Gradius is good and fun, but I've played the crap out of Gradius.
So
Double Dragon's fine, but I've played that a bunch too.
yeah, exactly. Everything that I'm nostalgic for, I've played to death and have
Yeah,
multiple other options to play it. I mean,
yeah.
don't get me wrong, online play is cool, and I'll mess with it here and there, but this is by no means a draw. Like if this included out of the gate Super Nintendo and even Nintendo 64 games, okay, now you're starting to get me interested. But just NES games, like what? How many is it? Like 15 or 20?
20.
20.
It is 20. Okay, I wasn't sure if they actually did get
But
to
by
20.
the end of the year, we'll have 29.
Yeah,
Solomon's Key and Mighty
this is the
Bomb
same.
Jack.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit better rollout than they had for the Virtual Console, but we also had to wait a hell of a lot longer for it, at least on the Wii U. I don't know, man. I think you're right. I think you make a very good point. I think there's going to be a huge 7-day drop off, and people are going to go wait. Yeah, I kind of
Because
wish I had
outside of
done.
this, there's nothing else really that they're offering. I said the cloud
Ooh,
saves. I mean,
except
you can get
access to purchasing
access, yeah,
those fancy NES controllers.
which will be
They,
worthless once you don't subscribe to the service or once Switch is
uh,
over.
I disagree. I have a strong suspicion that they will work with the 8-bit do, whatever product line. I'm gonna buy them on that gut, instinct,
Well,
and we'll
get your
find
order
out.
in now because they're probably going to
Well,
fly off the
I
shelf.
still have yet to figure out where to put an order in.
Go to
Um,
Nintendo Switch or
uh-huh. Have you
Nintendo.com/Switch/online
actually
service.
tried to order anything?
Yeah, you can.
Because I can go to I'm there, I'm in special offers, and there's no button to order anything.
Go to special offers. All right, I'm gonna walk the listeners at home. There's a little button that says pre-purchase now. If you're on the special offers page, right underneath the
I
picture of the
could
controllers.
I could probably pull this up and stream it if
Yeah.
you want that.
This button that says pre-purchase now. It'll ask you to log in, and then it'll ask for your credit card. So yeah, it's just Nintendo.com/Switch/online- service.
Show your screen here, because
Hang on a sec. Oh wow. You have to. I'm opening a different browser than I normally use.
okay, yeah.
But it is definitely available.
So, and we're going to
Nintendo.com/ So you just click on the Nintendo Switch up at the top, and then go to online service.
All right, hang on here. Yeah, play some load music there. I don't know why this is being so slow.
Also, I don't like
Okay.
that the only way to charge these is on a rail. So as Z had pointed out to me earlier, I guess if you've got a Switch charger. All right, you want to hit the Nintendo Switch up at the top? Is that what you have an option for it?
Oh.
All right, go to online service. Boom. Scroll down till you get special offers, unless it'll let you click that. Special offers.
Okay.
Right, scroll down right underneath the picture of the controllers. Pre-purchase now.
Oh, I'll be damned. That is not on my screen.
And I'm not signed in, so
yeah.
log into pre-purchase.
I am signed in, and that button is not there.
You bought a family plan. You don't get it.
Maybe that's it.
No, it says every member of the family,
Says you
every
can 5 to
individual
8.
account will have an option. Yeah.
So I'm going to special offers. Yeah, I have no. I mean, it's the exact same. It's Jason's exact same screen. There's no button. So you're telling me if I log out and log back in, I should be able to buy it?
Maybe.
It wouldn't
Refresh the page. Yeah, I don't know.
be a bad option.
You also can get that sweet exclusive Splatoon 2 in-game gear download code.
I'll be damned.
Do you have to click on something to get that?
Supposedly it's just going to email it to you once you've paid for a 12-month.
By the way, I did get. I want to talk a little bit about about actually purchasing the thing in a minute, but I did get confirmation emails and I made a purchase through the eShop for that. So if you've done that, check your email. You probably will get the Splatoon code there. I should have read those emails I got, and maybe the code.
Did you get
there?
Oh wait, did you? No, I hadn't gotten my Splatoon code yet.
Okay.
I was watching for that. I'll double check, but yeah, I just recently I checked and I still haven't gotten it. Yeah, I just haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, I think it's a weird special offer to do the Splatoon crap.
Yeah.
Because it's like, why not just push that as an update for everybody with Splatoon 2? Because if you don't buy the online, you're not playing Splatoon 2 anymore. So
nobody will see that and be jealous. It's like, oh man, I gotta go down.
Yeah. Oh, now I gotta buy the online. Because it's like, unless you're one of the 0 people in the country that only plays Splatoon locally somehow.
I think there are more kids out there doing that than you realize.
Maybe.
I'm
I don't
sorry.
even know if does it even support that? I don't even think there is a 2-player mode. Is there for local in this one? Can the Battle Dojo support 2 players?
No. I just mean the single player mode.
Yeah, there's a local
I guess you got
local
that.
multiplayer. You've got the arcade thing on the side you can go to.
Yeah.
Oh, split screen?
Oh, I don't know about split screen.
No, it's local wireless for other Switches.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I don't think it supports 2 players on one console. So
No, I don't either.
So Splatoon 2 is dead unless you buy this.
By the way, $59.99 plus $5 shipping.
Oh, that's not bad for the shipping. I was a little
Plus
scared
tax.
of what they were going to make the shipping.
$5 is still too much in the Amazon age.
Yeah, but if you buy I bought a stylus for a 3DS, and I think they charged me $5 shipping and handling on it.
I think that's the minimum on Nintendo's website.
That's the thing. Yeah, if you go to the Nintendo online store, that's something. I'll order a dozen things. It's still $5.
Yeah.
Even if they're big things. Like the last time I got a very large box of random crap, I ordered like Wiimote battery covers and all sorts of weird random little parts like that. And it was a huge box, and it was still $5 shipping.
Yeah.
That's a random point of note.
I think the big thing about the online to me is they didn't really make a compelling argument. People were kind of waiting to see like what kind of special thing they got up their sleeve. And they were honest and upfront about telling us this was coming all along. But the main thing is the stuff you've been doing for free, you now get to pay for. And we'll throw some games that you don't really want anymore. Like, it's cool. I'll take them. But it's very underwhelming.
Yeah. It's, I guess we should point out, it did cover this in the direct. There's basically 5 portions of this, as Barry was give us an outline when his first come in. He was talking about this. You've got your online play that you already have, classic NES titles, which are kind of
You
underwhelming.
probably already have.
You probably already have.
Which if you bought,
wanted.
Well, yeah, and if you bought on the Wii U and 3DS, you were expecting to get for free anyway, or at least
you hope,
or at least for a very, very cheap, 50-cent kind of upgrade fee or something. I mean, I was pinning my hopes on that again. So, like most of this stuff actually is not stuff I bought on the virtual console. Well, a good portion of it.
I'm relieved
Yeah.
to hear this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this is just crap. Like soccer. Yeah, that was something I was going to spend $5 on. I don't even know if that was ever available on virtual console. But yeah, no, like half of these games are stuff that I never would have bought in the first place. The other half are ones that I've bought multiple times.
Or you
So
played enough as a kid and don't care
Yeah,
about
or
replaying.
beat to death. Yeah, or beat to death at some point. And it's like it's fun to have around. And I think that's I do like the fact that they've decided they're not going to try to sell these individually to us anymore.
Yeah, I hope
That
so.
that it's going to be part of a subscription service. People have sort of asked for this for years. Pie in the sky. Wouldn't it be great if there was a Netflix style subscription service for this stuff? Okay, so there is with 20 games.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, that's not. They should have started with like 100. They can do it. I mean, that's not even. You know what I mean. They should have started with, if you want to build a Netflix of Nintendo games, build a Netflix of Nintendo games. Netflix did not start with 20 movies, dude.
Yeah.
Netflix,
But they
right?
do this every single time they roll out a virtual console. It
Oh.
starts out bare bones.
Yeah, but I just, you know what I mean? It's.
I wish
go
it was
ahead, Jake.
20 games a month for
Yeah.
5 months or something, or even if it was 3 months until we had like 60 games.
Yeah,
That would be
like
much more.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say it'd be worth it. It'd be much more exciting, I guess.
Yeah, like who's picking me? Nobody gives a shit about Solomon's Key and Mighty Bomb Jack. Like
No.
there's maybe 2 people on the planet that are nostalgic for that, and it's probably the people who developed them.
But then there's other people. Here's the thing: is when it was the virtual console, you got it because it's like, oh, they're rolling out all the crap first because people will buy it because there's nothing else, right? Here, it's like you have these old licenses and they're cheap. I guess I don't know. Like it's just again, it's like 50% of these are like classics, and then 50% are the other crap that nobody cares about.
Yeah,
It kind of makes it laughable too when you think Nintendo went after ROM companies to try and protect this possibly. It's like, who out there is downloading ROMs other than people that are just downloading everything? Who's like, I've got to really find a ROM of soccer.
yeah.
I mean, admittedly, I was in that boat at one point because I was like, okay, I've got every good sports game that I remember. And it's like, what other ones are there? I've got all the good ones. What are, oh, there's another black box NES sports game? What? That was the only one I didn't have was soccer. Volleyball was another kind of late ad that I was like, oh yeah, volleyball. I remembered that. I didn't even remember there was a soccer game. I haven't tried it yet, but it's like, yeah, these are not, and that's the thing about the ROMs. It's like the ROM sites, I guarantee you 95% of the traffic on the ROM sites is probably the same 20 or 30 games, and the other 5% is everything else. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Although I will say it is nice that they gave us pro wrestling, because I think I've mentioned before, where the hell is pro wrestling? Because it wasn't on the Wii.
You've brought it up many times
on
on
the
this
Wii
very
U.
podcast. Yeah.
Because I just couldn't figure out like what was holding it back. But whatever it was, they shook it loose for this thing. So it's not the greatest game in the world, but I like it. Okay.
I'm disappointed to hear that going back. I mean, you're saying you're only going back after a few years. That it just doesn't hold up. Whereas I will be going back from my childhood where I thought it was pretty. That was a good game.
It's
man.
one of those games that like
some
you
afternoons
figure
on that.
out how to do it. It's like you figure out how to control it, and then you can kind of game the system and be like, oh, I can defeat anybody easily by just spamming the same thing in the same way.
We should get Max's opinion. Was this your first time playing pro wrestling?
Yes.
It was mine as well. We played together online.
Mm-hmm.
What was your opinion of pro wrestling?
It was kind of fun for a few minutes.
Did either of you guys pick Starman?
I was Starman.
I didn't know that
Okay.
we could choose our own characters.
Yeah.
We were just kind of assigned.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You would have wanted to be the Amazon because it looks sort of like the Moisty Merman.
Oh,
Ooh, I guess we gotta try again.
And he has the attack where he bites your head.
He bites your head, yeah.
Yeah.
well, they have different
he was the
attacks.
Blanca before Blanca. Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody's got their own
Oh.
custom moves. This game is deep, son.
Surprisingly, yeah, it was like Street Fighter 2 before Street Fighter 2 kind of.
Yeah.
It was
Oh.
yeah.
All right, I'll play
Totally.
it again. All right.
Yeah. I'll try these some more.
It's deep.
It was more fun than soccer.
Dr. Mario.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe Mo wants to brag a little bit about Dr. Mario.
No, I
Dr.
suck.
I really suck.
I have been online with Dr. Mario, and any degree of skill I thought I had is quickly discredited by people playing Dr. Mario online. Because I've got that 3DS one, but yeah.
I have no business playing Dr. Mario because I'm terrible, apparently.
Nah, just you get used to it.
Yeah, I guess I could grind on it and get better.
It's awesome. It's a fun game. Dr. Mario is a quality game. It's just that I've got it a billion times and in a billion different ways, including Dr. Luigi. And the NES versions of some of these games, like Dr. Mario, are like the worst versions.
It makes you want to play the better version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they've refined Dr. Mario.
But they're the
since
originals.
and had the drop down and but Dr. Mario doesn't ever change.
Yeah.
They just
Same with
refine it in
Tetris.
ways. Yeah, it's like with same with Tetris. Like it had the fast drop. That fast drop wasn't in the Game Boy version. To drop the piece, but
we kind of hit on a topic here that I think is a huge oversight from Nintendo. And like we were saying, we didn't even know we could change characters in wrestling. We thought we were assigned those. There are no instructions.
Yes.
There's no instruction manuals.
No.
They've got places on the side. There's, just a few buttons. I guess I assume you'll figure it out. But there's a lot of things. And
yeah, we figured this would be a lot more polished experience, didn't we? Like,
although the NES Classic has a website set up basically that has the manuals, I think, that you can access.
Oh, is that how that
on your
works?
web browser? I believe so. I believe the NES Classic, has something like for owner's manuals. Go to whatever Nintendo.
That's still kind of half-assed.
But
I
yeah, there should have been on screen or even just the little page where it shows a controller and which buttons do what.
I was really surprised they didn't have that.
Just some basics. I mean, right? They whenever they release a collection like the what's the one, the Mega Man collection I got on 3DS, because we got it for like $5. That has all like box art and history and you know what I mean?
Does it right? Yeah.
Yeah, background information on all the games and credits and things like that. And we get dick with these. We just get the game. Here you go.
Oh, it gives you
bare bones.
A 2-page description of every game.
Where?
Inside there's something like the details when you highlight a game.
Mm-hmm.
So
when you say 2 pages, I think you mean like 2 sentences.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a description. It's like tennis is a game where you slap a ball towards somebody else, and they describe what the game is supposed to be.
Tennis. They actually explain tennis.
Yeah.
Show me where are these descriptions. Details. I see it. Oh, okay. It's a little paragraph.
Yeah.
The easy to learn controls that they do not like. Okay, balloon fight. After mastering the easy to learn controls, how hard is it to say one button is an auto flap and one button is a manual flap? Come on. Yeah. How hard is that to explain?
And I will say, while a lot of these games are in common with the NES Classic, some of these Solomon's Key, I'm looking at you, wasn't classic enough to be put on the NES Classic, but it was classic enough to be included in the first.
That said, neither was Pro Wrestling.
That's true, which it deserves to be. But I think people would be happy if even if they just started with the NES Classic.
They kind of did. It looks like they kind of
Yeah, a
did,
lot
and
of
then
it is.
peppered in some crap.
But no Kirby's
So
Adventure, no Pac-Man, no Punch
out
Out.
of that top row, baseball is the only thing that isn't on the NES Classic, right?
Yeah.
Out of the second row,
Well, you know what? Although NES
that's
Classic
not-
didn't get Double Dragon, but it got Double Dragon 2.
Oh no, you're correct. Yeah, you're right. It got 2, not 1.
Yeah. And there's no Super C, no Star Tropics.
Well, this just doesn't have as many
But
games,
Yeah.
right? The NES Classic had 30.
We need Contra on this. Something fierce.
Contra is another one of those games that's been held up in something. For some reason, it never came to any of the virtual consoles either. So
It's always Super C, but not the original Contra.
yeah,
And that'd be perfect multiplayer.
yeah,
Yeah.
frustrating.
Let's think about this. Could there be issues with that? I mean, which of these games have actual straight, what is it, active multiplayer, or what are they, co-op competitive?
Yeah, like Dr. Mario does.
Let's see.
Tecmo Bowl. It's awesome.
But Tecmo Bowl, I guess what I'm thinking is, like with Contra, there's a lot of action on the screen at a given time, and 2 people controlling characters that are shooting everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if anything else is as action heavy as that. Anything that they've got currently with 2-player capability.
Well,
Like Tecmo Bowl,
you got to run around.
Yeah, that's true. You guys are both
catch
running your
people,
characters around the field, and yeah, that's true.
For a second at a time.
We had some difficulties with River City Ransom about like getting ahead of each other or going down alleys.
Or walking into a restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah, so. But I'd never played that game before.
I hadn't either.
So we're figuring it out together. And where's Super Mario 2?
That game is always left out, and I will have to say, it is a fantastic game, and it's probably out of the games I think about playing with friends. I played with friends on that game more than any of the other Super Marios. 3 was close.
But yeah, Contra is one of those definitive co-op experiences that's not here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Life Force would be a good one.
You love Life Force.
I'm a big fan of it. Well, it's also just it's co-op Gradius, effectively, right? It's the only one.
But
that was something that's disappointing because I wanted to play Gradius, and it's not simultaneous, unfortunately.
No.
Yeah, that's why Life Force. To me, that's why Life Force exists. Is to be
I can watch you play and put my little pointer on your screen.
Just to screw with you, yeah.
So cloud saves.
So you control people. Yeah. You can clap when they fail, for example.
Yeah.
That's the only time people will be clapping is when you die.
Yeah. The other we need to continue on there. The other 2 points were, of course, cloud saves, and I know Mo's messed with it, and I messed with it a little bit. It's a weird system. I don't know how it works. I'm almost thinking you've had to have played a game since the update before it will initiate cloud saves.
Or you can manually initiate them, and it will do them while you watch. Or if you put the system into sleep, I was able to queue up a whole bunch of my games, or all of my games, basically, and then put the system to sleep and just have it cloud save everything. The most interesting thing about this, not that anyone would ever do this, but if I had somebody that I really trusted, and I said, man, you got to play SteamWorld Dig 2, and they said, hey, you really got to play Golf Story, and they had it and I didn't, we can actually deactivate our accounts now on the Switch and swap name and passwords with one another, and I could log on to my Switch with your name and play your games, and you could play my games. I mean, you'd want to really trust somebody for that, but that's something you could do on PlayStation forever. If you go to a friend's house, you could log in with your PlayStation ID and play your digital games that way at their house, and then go back to your house and sign back in. So that's something that's capable now. You can move your save data between systems.
That's interesting. It'd be nice
Yeah.
if that was like a little bit more secure or something. That'd be a good feature.
Yeah. Be awesome if they had an option to lend a game to a friend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We would never buy a game again.
I know. Well, somebody
Well,
had to buy them.
somebody
Someone
would
had to.
like, I'm buying this game, and it's like, okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Time
cloud
you-
saves are nice but there are some glaring omissions, especially for Jason in the cloud saves. Games that are not compatible. Beloved Splatoon 2.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a scary one. Fortnite is not supported, but we do know that Fortnite is taken care of on Epic's end. That's probably why.
And they do it to dissuade
scares me.
cheating, because there's never been any way to cheat or game the system in Splatoon until cloud saves came along.
All they would have to do is omit online rankings.
Yeah.
That would be the simplest thing. It would back up your level, your. I mean,
It
I
seems
guess
like a real
you could
weird half-assed. Sorry, go ahead.
if it did back up sea snails, you could go and use 50 sea snails to try to re-roll something.
It also just seems like they could just
Well-
update Splatoon to not store that stuff locally on the console anymore. Like it,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's not rocket science. This is a really weird excuse, and I don't get the justification for it.
Nintendo Life had a video about where they just kind of talked about their disappointments with the online service. And one of the things that the guy had mentioned in it, which makes total sense, is you could even do something as simple as make it so you can only load your cloud save once every 24 hours. And if you did that, that would take care of anyone trying to do the save scumming stuff where you're trying to re-roll.
Yep.
Unless they're really dedicated enough to try to re-roll once a day, which as Nintendo players, we might be. But probably not.
But even then you can't. Yeah, I mean it's sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, who cares? That does not affect your online play.
Yeah.
Well, even online, like if you lost your online and you lost a game and you try to reload, that would only work one time if you did it every 24 hours.
But even then,
but
it's like I still don't understand, like, why isn't the system just on, like, if you lose a game, there should be nothing whatsoever on your console that refers to that. That should all be in the online system anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
On their servers. Well, they don't have dedicated servers, and that's part of that problem. I trust that my Fortnite stuff is secure in Epic's hands. But I don't know what else we could really say about cloud saves. It's automatic, and hopefully you don't ever need them. I was really baffled. Another game that doesn't include it is 1-2 Switch.
Wow.
Because, well, I'm guessing it might have something to do with the fact that, like Z said, it doesn't even log your hours for that game. Or
you don't even log in as a
player is
person.
playing. Yeah.
When you start it, the game just launches. It doesn't ask you who's using it. Like even the eShop asks you, but that doesn't.
And yet you do unlock more games as you play. So there is data there that you would maybe want, I guess, if you really give a shit. But yeah, that's like a head scratcher because you know how many people are cheating in competitive 1-2 Switch.
It may be because it's tied to an account. Like I was just messing with it, and like I haven't added my wife to my family account yet, so I cannot do a cloud save for her Zelda file. I can only do mine. So that it sort of makes sense, and if it's tied to the account specifically, then there's no account right to back it up on, and who cares anyway? Like there's nothing to back up on 1-2 Switch.
The thing that really sold me on the online service is they've got this great smartphone app
Yeah, that's what they're selling in the Direct. That was one of the selling points, was the app.
It's one of your 5 key features.
It is.
Voice chat and more. The and more is Splatoon 2 gear that you can get through the Splatoon app. Apparently, it's going to be compatible with Mario Tennis, from what I understand. And from what I understand, they're actually going to have the ability that you can speak to people that you're randomly paired with online. So,
Oh, really?
child molesters out there, Mario Tennis apparently is your game.
I guess they figured Fortnite popped that cherry, and now they're okay with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. But also, this would require that you're playing Mario and you have a phone and you're going through the trouble of using that stupid app. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really that much trouble to begin with.
Oh, and
But, yeah.
moving on, we can't forget the most important pillar of Nintendo Switch Online, and that is the special offers,
Mm-hmm.
which
I just clicked, my final pay now on.
there. And I don't know if we made it clear. There are some catches to the NES controllers. They only work with these NES games on Switch. They do not. You can't just use them to play Fortnite
Shovel Knight.
or Splatoon or any
Fortnite, Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight, any of the Knights.
anything that would even make sense or that you would want to use them for.
Yeah.
My order right now says the anticipated shipping window for my purchase is between 12/7 and 12/12/2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Merry
might get
Christmas,
it for
man.
Christmas. Well, it did say it doesn't start shipping till December. I mean, it says that on
Yeah,
the site.
they did say that, yeah.
Mid-December, in fact, it says.
So they're hoping, I assume they will hit it. They're hoping to have these out by Christmas.
Yeah.
Everybody, but that
But
still is
not
a
in
long way.
stores.
Yeah.
This is their way of saying thank you for subscribing to the online, an exclusive offer for you to pay them
More
another
money.
$70.
60. Well, 70 with tax and shipping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$5 and then plus tax. Yeah.
Yeah. It's and it's like that's $30 a pop, $35 a pop for these. You can get a really nice Bluetooth replica
And
online on
only
Amazon
sold in
for cheaper.
pairs.
Yeah, only sold in pairs.
Because you want 2 of them.
Yeah.
And there's a dedicated left one and a dedicated right one. Because there's a direction it has to slide onto the Switch to charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for no other reason, because it's otherwise, it has no motion controls, it has no rumble, it has no nothing. It's a friggin' 2-button controller for $35.
But that's not all. You get that Splatoon 2 in-game gear download code. So
it's $10 cheaper than a Pro controller.
But
Sorry.
you can use it as a Pro controller. Only in the NES game. NES.
Yeah, but my Pro controller I can use in every game and the NES games.
It is. I mean, I just plunked down, and the main reason I plunked down is because I am putting my money down that this will work with my little 8-bit-do galaxy of stuff I've bought, right? That I'll be able to use it with all the little mini receivers. And if that's the case, then these are a perfectly good option because, right, they have the retro receiver that plugs directly into the OG NES, as well as the ones that plug into the minis. So these would be perfect for those, either the original or the mini, assuming they work. So I won't, I won't find out till December. And otherwise, I got a $60 piece of brickware otherwise, because I've already got an NES controller with the 8-bit do little swap out kit. So right, I already forgot what I played because all those games are so forgettable. I just played something with it about 10 minutes ago when you guys were talking about it. So I've already got an original NES controller to play these with. So I really I don't know why I just bought these, just because I'm a sucker for that shit. And Nintendo knows that there are suckers like me out there. That's why they put that shit out there.
It'll be a rare collectible someday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it looks so stupid slotted onto the thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to, like, people will come over and they'll see your dock and they'll go, hey, what the hell is that?
It would be cool if you don't ever take it from the dock, is to leave those stuck on there.
Well, you know what?
Right.
And I if you had a little, you know what? No, I can't charge these on one of the little Joy-Con charge docks because they're a little too wide. They won't slide down all the way.
Mhm.
The same reason you can't charge them on a charge grip. They won't fit on the charge grip. So really the only place you can charge them that I'm aware is, as you said, Mo, on the Switch, because I have not, now that I'm thinking about it, because they're too wide. The rail doesn't go all the way end to end like it does on a Joy-Con. So all the charge docks I've seen, like the one I got, and one of the ones my buddy bought, and all the ones I was shopping for on Amazon, they will not fit this. So yeah, there really will be only one place to charge these.
Wow.
I just paid $70 for this.
For a collector's item.
Yeah.
Well, let me pose this question then. I assume Z is the only one.
You
that's
could have
putting
got
it
an another NES Classic for the price of those controllers.
I know it comes with 2 wired ones, which is almost as good. Now, if they would do Wiimote support for the Switch, then you could plug all those. You could plug the classic controllers into the Wiimote. You could plug all sorts of controllers into the Wiimote. But that's why they'll only do that when the Switch really starts lagging, if they do it at all. Somebody was saying something. I think it was Jason.
Yeah,
Maybe it was Max. Oh, go ahead.
It was me. I was just going to say, I assume that Z's the only one that's going to pick these up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Would you be interested if it was compatible to play the other Switch games? If it was like the 8-bit controllers where you could it had the other buttons on there, would this be more tempting?
No, but more so.
I mean, like, for example, there's a lot of those couch co-op games, like Overcooked only uses 2 buttons. What was that other one that Death Squared I picked up and played an evening or two with some friends? That one only uses a button or 2. So there are a bunch of those games that are designed that way because they're supposed to be for people who've never played it before to pick up and figure out easily.
Yeah.
So, and I would assume it would just be on the developer to support it, right? I'm assuming that they just, it's a new type of controller that none of the other devs had in their API to connect to. So now they'll be able to, once these controllers are out and once they're in the OS, then, I can just add a patch to Overcooked or Snipper Clips or whatever to support this controller. There's no reason rationally, logically, or technically that shouldn't be the case. It would just be a case of them supporting it unless Nintendo somehow does something to specifically block it, which would just be stupid. So I do expect that these will get wider use. I do expect to see Snipper Clips and Overcooked and whoever else able to use this. Anything that, supports 2 buttons. Because why not? The only thing is, how the hell do you get out of the menu? Oh, wait, they still do have that's right. They still do have an LNR up top.
Yep.
Yeah, and I want to see somebody slide on those.
Yeah, no home button, but they can do enough with the LNR.
I need to see Reggie at some point talking about what a opportunity they are, and there's a lot of fan passion for these. You pick them up immediately.
The fan passion. I got to hear about the fan passion.
Act now. Oh.
And then the other big question is, if they do Super NES versions of these, would anybody be more inclined to pick those up instead of these?
No.
No?
Not if they had the same lock-in
limitations. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I would think that's true. I would be less. I wouldn't probably be inclined to pick them up either if they really were just limited to the Super Nintendo online games. But if they were otherwise, that's a reasonably valid controller, right? 6 buttons and a D-pad. You can play most stuff with that. Anything that doesn't need an analog stick, pretty much. So it's like, to me, that would be a viable controller for all sorts of stuff. Whereas the NES controller, 2 buttons, it's a lot more limited anyway. But
Yeah.
but I plunked down for it because, like I said, I'm a sucker for that crap.
Well, we're talking about the NES games, new controllers. For the controllers, I found out today that in Europe, they will be offering vouchers to purchase these, which you can buy with gold coins. You can buy them for 100, 300, or 500 gold coins to get 100, 300, or 500 euros off of the price.
Not
Well, not 500 euros.
5 euros.
$5,
probably,
yeah, 5
Oh,
euros.
5.
I think.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Not 500. I misspoke.
That
So
would be
but
one
that's
hell of a
basically
refund.
that's
It would be
basically the
very
same thing as here, because when you went to go purchase the service, it did allow you to throw gold coins in for the purchase.
It did.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
effectively the same thing as buying a voucher.
You don't get the trial if you use your e-funds.
Yeah, that is my biggest
That's true.
complaint
Yeah.
with the online service so far.
Yeah.
Is I feel like I've been shorted a 7-day trial, and
I
it
agree.
literally is 7 days added to your subscription because I did not want to give them credit card information. I wanted to pay with eShop credit, which I had preloaded and standing by.
Yeah.
Same here.
Although I was able to get around that, but I've got my credit card stored on my Switch, so I just signed up
I
for the
did
free
too, yeah.
trial with automatic renewal and signed up. And then as soon as I was signed up, I went and turned off the automatic renewal, and it was like, you'll still be able to use your trial for the next 7 days.
And
So
as
then
you
after
said,
that-
you might just wait, because
I could,
aside
yeah.
from NES access, why do we care? You
Yeah.
can still play Fortnite, right?
That's right. But not Rocket League.
Oh, yeah.
Rocket League is, although I don't
Not
play
free to
that as much anymore, but yeah, Rocket League. Yeah, I mean, I'll probably just pay. I mean, $20 for a year.
But yeah, I
But-
mean, I plunked down immediately because I'm sure these aren't going to sell out in a week, but you just never friggin' know with Nintendo shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I had to.
I felt like, though, when I signed up for it, Nintendo should have said, "Thank you for subscribing. Enjoy an extra 7 days to your subscription."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. Instead, it says, if you want to cancel, you must let us know. Or if you don't want to auto renew, you got to let us know 2 days prior to.
I turned
Blah,
off auto
blah.
renewal because it will
Thank you.
take
Don't
it out
let
of
the door hit your ass on the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Here's your free NES games. Now get the hell out of here.
And
I
we
don't-
did. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say, I imagine in a year though, if you didn't have $20 in there, you'd get some sort of email like there was a problem with your auto renewal.
Yeah, I would imagine
Yeah,
so.
that's true.
But how bad would it be if you forgot that was coming up and you put money on there for a game? And
Yeah.
anyway, I'd say that wouldn't happen that often. But
By the way, I'll just point out, other consoles give you just straight up free games every month for being a subscriber.
You got 20 free games.
well,
Yeah,
that's something I was
those
going to bring up.
Those don't count. And I, as far as I understand, they're yours to keep.
No,
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? When you kill your subscription,
On other
I don't think
systems.
you lose the games when you
Well,
kill your
actually,
subscription.
one of them does. I don't remember if it's Xbox. One of them, you don't have access to play those games unless you are subscribed. But
Somehow
as long as
that
you stay
smells like
subscribed, you
Sony
still
to
have-
me.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Whereas the other option smells like desperation, which sounds like Microsoft. But sorry.
we found out some information from the frequently asked questions section of the website, and that was that NES games will be playable offline for 7 days. And after 7 days of being offline, that doesn't mean, the way I'm reading it, it doesn't mean after your subscription has ended. It's 7 days of not being logged into the internet on your Switch.
Yeah, like if you're on vacation and you're not near Wi-Fi or whatever, you're out camping for a week, you can still play the NES games.
But after that, they will not be
They'll
accessible.
lock up, yeah.
And if you let your subscription run out, that they will possibly, I don't know if it was a guarantee or not, remove your cloud saves.
Yeah, and again, from my experience with the Pokebank, there were all sorts of disclaimers that basically made it sound the same with the Pokebank, that if your subscription lapsed, you were screwed. And then, on message boards and whatever, people are reporting, oh, I, didn't pay for 6 months, 9 months, a year. My Pokies were still there when I logged back in. So it depends. I think it's going to depend primarily on just how much space this takes up, how much space they have, and right, they'll have retention policies based on that. We will only keep backups for so many days or so many weeks, months. But they won't tell you that because that way they're covered. They just, they make no guarantees, and if they get it back for you, then you're happy, kind of thing.
I could let my 7-day trial evaporate and then wait a day and see if my cloud saves are still there.
That's true. If you should do that. I mean, you were planning on maybe just letting yours lapse a little while anyway, because you don't necessarily need it. That'd be worth doing just to try it. If it's and doesn't end up being too many technical hoops to jump through.
Well, we need to move on from the online service and finish up for this evening. We did get one other major announcement, which I don't know if it affects some of us still. Splatoon 2 is getting its major update again, 4.0. But it also means that the end of updates are kind of on their way out. We found out that the October update will be the final stage update, and the weapons will end at the end of this year, and then Splatfest will continue until July 2019. The stuff we'll be getting is the Kinsa collection, which we'll get 2 versions of that over the next 2 months, which one is already out, and the other will be out in early October. And the biggest news, I think, is they're redoing Splatfest. I don't know why they're redoing Splatfest at this late of time. Maybe just as an experiment for the future. But probably the biggest thing from this is that you can play with random people if you don't have 4 people in your party. I know that's been our biggest gripe, trying to get a team together.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like they've just been collecting the complaints of players since Splatoon 1.
Yeah.
And then they waited until Splatoon 2 playership really dropped off bad and said, okay, now maybe we'll implement some of these things. So,
well, they probably figured since everybody only plays for the Splatfest now anyway.
Yeah. They'll address the biggest complaints of the Splatfests, which I haven't even played the last couple.
Oh, and we got some other interesting information about Splatfest. We're going to have 2 different modes that's kind of replacing the team and solo modes. We're going to have a pro and a normal mode, and the pro mode seems like it's going to be for more serious players, while the normal mode is just going to be kind of your typical play with team Splatfest. Pro is solo only, if I remember right. And they've introduced some kind of clout system, which I'm assuming is sort of like Splatfest Power, I don't know. And you just build it up, and it can lead to multipliers, which I think is also exciting news. Anything that will speed up the Splatfest process is most welcome. So, and the advantage to playing as pro, they will have leaderboard, so you can shoot for that. But
the thing is, speeding up the Splatfest, it's like that's because we just play till we hit king or queen and then stop.
Yeah.
So now we can stop playing earlier. Thank God.
I hope that's true. It's really hard to motivate yourself. It's like, I know Splatfest is coming and you almost dread it because you want to get that king or queen, but at the same time, you know it's going to take 3 to 5 hours to play.
Yeah.
Getting those points, 2 points at a time.
Yeah, you get a losing streak going, you're in for a long night. I wish they would just reduce the whole system to where you can get it in an hour. I think that's more than enough.
But with randos, we can now blame them instead of ourselves.
Of course.
Which I do in Fortnite a lot. And Rocket League.
That's true. There's always randos to blame. And we did get the announcement of a new Splatfest for North America and Europe. It's another weird one. Do you prefer modern clothes or retro style clothes?
Oh, that was for North America? I figured that was another
Yeah.
weird Japan one.
Oh, the Japan one is
It's bean
Two different
paste.
soups.
bean
Either
paste.
strained or not strained.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How do you like your bean paste? Let us know on Twitter.
Yeah. Right.
Well, they should have done cloud saves versus special offers.
That would be great.
Or NES games versus cloud saves.
Or 7-day trial.
Oh, they could have done it
versus-
like the Turtles one, where they have two of them face off and then another two face off. Then we figure out what the best value out of this online is.
I do think it's interesting they played the Splatfest to where it will be past the 7-day free trial, right? I think it might. So that will probably encourage some people to pick it up.
We've had a year and a half free trial. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted out earlier today as like, to all my Miiverse friends, I'm sorry, Splatoon 2 is gone. Who knows? I think most people are going to take this on, but we know from Miiverse that there are these kids out there that somehow have a system but can't afford any games for it and rely on the free to play stuff only. And as soon as Nintendo wants to monetize any part of it, they just complain and cry. And people are complaining and crying about this, which I understand it is a crappy thing, but just cough up your $20 like you're supposed to.
And
bitch about your NES games.
Here's what I will say. Anybody out there got a Switch and complaining they have no games, they're probably lying, and they probably got a Switch with 1-2 Switch, right? So it's almost like having no games for it.
That's almost worse than having no games, except being the only game you can play. It's kind of torture. But anyway, anyone else have any thoughts for the evening?
After playing those games tonight, I'm thinking I don't need a mini NES. I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, that's more about the cute shelf candy.
Yeah.
Than anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be fun to let my daughter mess around with some of those games and see how quickly bored she gets of them. But she'll finally be able to play the original Super Mario Brothers and stuff like that on the big screen. So we'll see. It might be that. I mean, that part will be fun, but I don't know. It is what it is.
Just get a mini, man.
Yeah. I might. We'll see what Santa has to say about that.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in tonight and listening to our thoughts as always. Let us know what you think about the online service. Hopefully, by the time this comes out, you should have had a couple days with it. So let us know if you're a fan or not so much.
Yeah, I did notice our good friend at Japan Nintendo,
Japanese Nintendo.
Japanese Nintendo has got a poll right now on Twitter that's active, I think, for a few more days, where he's asking, "Are you going to be picking up the online service?" And it's pretty well split right now with over 3,000 votes.
All right.
It's, I think it's just slightly more saying yes than no.
In fact, I'll give that a retweet on the podcast Twitter page. So if you aren't following Japanese Nintendo, go check him out. He's a very hardworking dude and does a lot of good content.
And his Toad website should be picking up some more steam now.
Yep.
Donald Trump has a toadstool penis.
Yep.
So on that bombshell, as they used to say in Top Gear,
I'm sorry, Jason.
we shall close out for the evening. So thank you for listening, as always. And of course, you can reach out to us on Twitter at NOA_podcast. You can check us out on iTunes and Stitcher. And of course, you can see some of our Fortnite adventures on Twitch. So anyway, we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Good night.
Party on, folks.